Okay, so hello, welcome. This is the ThatITShow. I'm Yasmin, and I'm for the first time going to introduce the topic of the show after the
Onto the
intro,
intro. Okay.
because what we are doing today is that basically Vedran has absolutely zero idea what I'm planning to do. And the main reason is because I had zero idea what I'm planning to do basically 15 minutes ago. And then I decided to do something spectacular, and this is going to make Vedran extremely happy and amuse him to no end.
Okay.
So let's roll the intro and see what I'm up to.
Okay. Now I'm dying to know.
Okay, so basically what I did is that while you were preparing for the, while I were preparing for the, or you were preparing for the show, I decided to take a look around me, and then I actually decided that I'm going to take a look and do a quick overview of the stupid things that I bought in the last couple of months, basically, or from the start of the year.
Oh, I
So
won't.
so the thing is that I have my desk chock full of things that I bought. Some of them make some sense, some of them make zero sense. Some of them were bought from the China sites, the usual suspects of AliExpress, Temu, and whatnot. Some of them were bought locally. I think that most of them from the basically from China, and for me, most of them make some sense. So
Okay.
we should, yes. So maybe we should start, and let me try to explain. Starting probably from the most important ones, then to the less important ones. You're probably going to notice some of the things have some things in common. So a lot of the things are basically pieces of gear that I wanted to buy for some reason or the other, because I wanted to be mobile and I wanted to make sure that when I'm somewhere, I can actually do the recording. So the first one is actually the one that you know and you own, the actual
Keylight Mini.
Keylight Mini, which is a pretty decent, and I must say that it is a decent light. It shines. It is its main reason to exist, so it actually shines. You can do whatever you can, so you can actually deal with the intensity and so on and so on. The reason why I like this one is because it's magnetic, so I can use it and I can stick it anywhere. And also, it is pretty decent when it comes to being able to actually connect it to something. So I can actually screw it on my tripod or wherever I need, and it stays there. It's not that expensive. It is okay. Not going to say light, but it is pretty light for a light, and it's an amazing piece of gear.
You forgot to mention one very important thing about it.
Yes.
It has a battery.
Yes, of course. Everything has a battery. Obviously, since it was lighting and it is not, it's a wireless light, so no wires. See, no wires.
Ta-da-da.
Okay, but then that got me thinking. So then the next thing that I decided to buy was this tiny piece of nothing.
Okay.
So this is, so the key light is something like, am I wrong, 120 euros or something?
Something like that, yes.
Something like this. This is 6.
Okay.
It has a, you can turn it on. It actually lights up. It's pretty decent. It has a battery. Battery life is negligent. You can actually turn on it's a warm light and a cold light. You can actually deal with it. It is kind of sort of easily connected to hot shoes on the cameras.
Yeah, horseshoe. Okay.
It has a plastic hot shoe adapter here that you can actually use. It's not, okay, it's extremely flimsy, but this brings me to another thing that I actually bought, because I got into trying to connect everything to everything. So what I actually got is a small hot shoe adapter that is made from aluminum or aluminium, however you can call it. So I can actually screw things up to this, and then I can connect other things to it. And the reason why I'm mentioning even these small things is that I got a whole lot of different adapters for some insane price, like €2, €1, euro and a half, and so on. And I must say that when it comes to these kind of things, actually buying directly from China makes extreme sense.
Okay.
Because something like this is usually 5 to 10 euros when you buy it here, and there is no difference. This is a piece of solid aluminum. It is anodized. It is actually well made, and I got a bunch of them. I also got a bunch of adapters for the different threads. So this is the thing that I actually use. I can put it in my backpack. I can connect everything to everything right now. So I can even connect lights to cameras. I can connect the cameras to lights. I can connect cameras to other cameras, and so on and so on. So this makes sense. Now I also got a bunch of these. These are adapters from small thread size to big thread size, so that I can actually do any combination of the sort. And the last two things that when it comes to actual attachments are these detachable hands, so that I can actually put my cameras in a particular configuration. Then I can actually move these things, the heads, so I can do different things, and so I can attach basically everything that I have to everything other than I have.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the most important things, and the things that are actually well made, make sense, are not flimsy at all, and are good value for money. I'm going to come back to that because there are some things that I bought that are not that good value for money, but they actually make sense.
Question.
Yes?
Did any of those things that you buy make the cut that you have on your right hand?
No, this is actually made by the handcuff or the the handcuff of my jacket while I was packing for the trip.
Okay.
So while I was coming back, I actually managed to, in some way or the other, because I still don't know how, I managed to actually cut my handcuff on the jacket.
Okay.
So, okay, now let's continue. I also got a couple of these.
Okay. These seem familiar.
Yes, these are small clamps. You can use this small clamp to, for example, just screw on an adapter. So now you suddenly have a small clamp that you can clamp anywhere, and then you have a hot shoe here, so you can attach the camera here. You can use the adapter to attach the light. So suddenly, when everything is connected, and I now have a light, and I can also attach a camera to it and use it as such. So this is an amazing small thing when you are in a hotel room, even in somewhere when you need to actually do something with limited space, and also you don't want to waste that much weight, primarily weight, not space, in your backpack.
Okay.
Because this doesn't weigh too much. It is not aluminum. This is actually, I guess, steel-ish. So it has some weight into it. It's not plastic. The entirety of it is made of metal. So it's a nice thing to have if you plan on doing something while you are there. Now, the last part that I wanted to mention about this fixing things to other things thing is this adapter.
Okay.
It's a metal thing. You open it, and then you can actually move this part here. You can move this part here, so you can actually put it into any position that you want. And then when you turn the screw on, it actually holds. it is capable of holding the Sony camera by itself without any problems. Okay?
Okay.
So
Good.
these are the small things that actually make sense. I'm going to go off the rails now, but these are the things that I actually like. Any comments?
Yes. First and foremost, I'm glad that you are becoming more aware of the fact that you need these things, because that's the route that I took years ago, but I didn't buy from the Chinese sites. I bought from, Triad Orbits and whatnot. Same idea, different price bracket, similar functionality. It's all about having the options. We're gonna actually, now that you started this topic, I had absolutely no idea what you were going to talk about. We can expand on that and discuss it from the perspective of something that we did a couple of weeks ago now, which was the recording of the Microsoft 50th anniversary set of videos for our corporate. But we can go back to from the equipment perspective only, just so that we know.
Yes, we can go to this.
Yeah. Okay.
So this
just
is the
give me a second more. Having done quite a few of these live streams now, and we recorded close to 120 episodes. We did a couple of conferences where we produced everything that comes out, to the internet and whatnot. It is incredibly important to have all of these things and many copies of them in your bag, because A, they're super useful, B, they're not something that consumes a lot of space or is very difficult to carry around because of the weight, and it's always something that's always missing. And I end up in these situations more often than not, and I ended up in one of these situations when we were recording this, and I had to ask for a little bit of assistance from our colleague who is in charge of the studio as well. So I have a bunch of these as well, and I commend you for your purchasing decisions, wherever they may come from.
No, the thing is that I couldn't get myself to buy more expensive ones, not for the reason that I don't think that expensive ones make sense, but for the reason that the expensive ones and the ones that I'm buying are basically the same. You cannot do anything other than when you're creating something out of metal. This is a piece of metal. It's a single piece turned on the lathe. It could be that maybe the finish is better when it comes to more expensive parts, but I'm usually buying these things for €1, €2 or something like this. I think that the most expensive package was something like 12 adapters for €6 or something.
Yeah, you're gonna buy a whole bunch of those more for me as well.
Yes, because what I have is that I actually unscrewed one of those. Just give me a second, because I'm trying to find it in the inexplicable chaos that is on my desk right now. But let me try to find the adapters. Okay, I have zero idea where it is now.
Never mind.
The thing is that what I also did is that I am usually stacking these together. So what I'm usually doing is I'm not packing them one by one. I'm usually stacking them in such a way, for example, like this, so that I have a few adapters stacked together, so that I can actually have this in my backpack and then combine things. So this is combined out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adapters, because there's the thread adapter inside this. Okay, so the next important thing that I got, which is extremely interesting and which I wanted to get for a long time, was this pretty expensive cable to connect the Rode microphones to the iPhone.
Okay.
Now this is, I want to say €27 or €30, like something like this.
Okay.
But it's worth it.
Okay.
It's a specialty cable. It enables you to actually connect the Rode microphones to the iPhone, so that you can actually use the Rode microphones to do the live streaming. You can record audio, you can control the microphones, and so on. So this is an indispensable thing, because what I want to do when I need to do it, I want to be able to actually have a clear audio from my iPhone, because the iPhone itself has a pretty decent camera when you need to use it. But the thing is that the audio is always missing. Really,
You,
it's not bad.
there's one thing that I must implore you to do.
Yes.
Keep the cable away from the cats.
Yes, the cable is safely stored. I learned the lesson the hard way. I just had to, while we were preparing for the episode, I just showed you that I had to buy a new set of cables because the cat ate, I guess, two or three of those. So I was missing a USB-C cable.
There's another thing
So I had to get those.
yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention. We had this discussion briefly, roughly a year and a half ago. Let's say December of 2023, when
Yes?
I bought that huge stack of cables from Amazon. You remember?
Yes.
I mean, it was the end of the year. I had to invest a little bit of money for the cost reasons as well. But I was seriously getting frustrated with all of the cheap cables that I had here at home and in the studio and in our studio as well. So I spent something like 900 euros paying for USB-C cables, USB A to C. Thunderbolt cables were a large part of that as well, and you were kind enough to buy me that super important and expensive Apple Thunderbolt Pro cable, which I used yesterday, and I use it every day when I record music because it's indispensable. And I cannot overstress the importance of having these quality cables and the way in which your life starts being super complex if you don't have them, which is something that happened to us when we were recording the stuff that I discussed earlier as well. Some of the cables were not as good, and we're going to have to go through the cabling in the studio in the university where we work because of the fact that some things are just not working properly.
Yes, I know. And the thing is that without cables, basically you. I'm not going to say that you are stuck, but without cabling, you are going to have huge problems, especially if you have cables, but those cables are cheap and those cables are not tested. The reason I already showed you in one of the previous episodes, I showed the USB tested the tool that I use. I always have it by my side because it is proven to be an indispensable thing to just check the cables and to see if the cable is what it states it is. This is the first thing, and also if the cable is actually reliable. So when the connectors can be bad on the good cable, and then you suddenly have a problem that is intermittent and it is going to annoy you
Yeah.
a lot.
One other thing that I came across in the past week or so, including but not limited to our recording of close to 7 hours of video, which we did 10 days ago, is even more, let's say, onus on the importance of the quality of the HDMI cables. We had a couple of really nasty situations in the past couple of weeks with those. I'm very glad that I have a whole stack of those, 10, 15, 20, 30 meter optical cables and short ones with HDMI, micro HDMI connectors, whatnot. If we didn't have a whole bunch of them, our podcasting, let's say, life would be significantly more difficult, not now when we are at home, but for the things that we do in the studio and for the stuff that we sometimes do for our clients or for the stuff that we do on conferences as well. The importance of having these high quality optical HDMI cables is, I'm very happy that I kind of stumbled across a few articles a couple of years ago about them and invested heavily into those as well. So I have a whole bunch of them and happily use them on a daily basis.
No, I'm completely with you. Decent cables make much sense, and it is pretty useful to have it and to just use it whenever you need to. Now, when we are on the topic of cables, let me show you one more thing, and this is going to take a little bit of. I need to do it quickly. So this thing.
Okay.
This is a USB, as you can see.
Yeah, charger.
USB charger and USB power supply that has a wireless charger here, and it has a bunch of connectors here, and I think this is in total something like 200 something watts. And the idea is that I have eight different connectors on the front, and I can charge pretty much everything. and I can also take a look at, and this is the reason why I was quick about it, because it disconnected, but I can monitor the current for each connector. So I can actually visually check if a thing is slowly charging, fast charging, doing the power delivery, and so on and so on. This has been one of the things that I have been missing for a long time.
Yeah,
I didn't know I was missing.
you've been using iPhone for a while now. iPhone doesn't have that kind of report when you connect the cable, if I remember correctly.
It is able to say if the charge is fast or not,
But not how
but
fast it
nothing
will
else.
charge. Yeah,
But nothing else.
yeah.
Nothing else. And it actually makes sense to see the currents and the voltages for the all the connectors, so that I can actually see what is happening. And specifically, it's not for the iPhones. It's not for the expensive things. It's for the things that are cheap, that have awful interfaces, usually one LED that just lights up. So I want to see if the thing is even charging and how fast is it charging. And this is something that I use daily. I'm usually having things connected. Right now I have right now I don't. But I had connected my monitor that I use for monitoring the
Stream.
input or the output that is coming to you. I also connected everything here, so I'm charging my Rhodes, I'm charging my phone, I'm charging my headphones, and so on and so on. So this is one of those things that I didn't know I needed, but I actually need it, and I need it a lot.
Yeah. One other thing while we're on the subject of that, I'm completely with you. You know that I invested a heck of a lot of money into those very expensive U-Green adapters, one of which failed.
Yes.
You remember that situation. We're not going to go into detail. That was nasty. But lately, in the past 6 months or so, I also invested in a couple of these.
Okay.
Couple of really good, high quality, very sturdy external batteries, which has proven to be
Yes.
very, very useful, even when we were recording these episodes in the past couple of weeks, and especially
You
when
mean something like this?
yeah. I have a couple of others with the current reports and whatnot on them as well. Some of the latest Ugreen ones have that, and I used that for a couple of days when we were recording the Microsoft podcast episodes and whatnot, which was very useful because the one of the topics that we are going to cover, which is the Rode microphones that we are using right now, those can be powered by these USB batteries for literally days, maybe even weeks.
Yes.
Because the Rodes really don't consume all that much power. But as we learned the hard way via testing, the Rodes do not like to be connected to computer, not the receiver part, the sender part. If you connect both of them, you're usually going to get a buzz. There's going to be some noise. This happens not
Yes,
only.
and you can isolate it using the USB, of course.
Yeah, but even the Chinese knockoff ones that you have, those had the same problem, but the original ones have it too. So I ran into many different situations in which this was a problem, not only by connecting them to the computer. Actually, when I connected them to a power adapter, that happened as well on the same circuit, which was insane. But yeah, for the most part, I wanted to mention and give a shout out to Rode in terms of the wireless goes, because they freaking saved hours and hours of our work in the past couple of weeks.
I'm going to go with this is probably the best investment that you can have if you want to go into any kind of audio recording. I'm not even talking only about podcasting. I mean, if you are into, I don't know, legal, following people, trying to record conferences, trying to get some interviews done, and so on. Basically, a phone, a cable, a couple of Rode wireless microphones, and a receiver are everything that you need to do to have amazing results.
Especially with these, because they are even more expensive than the Rodes, but even without them, you're going to be okay.
Yes, you can get a lavalier mic with the cable, so the small one, for pretty cheap. But even without those, the way that I'm using it right now, so I have it connected to my collar and my t-shirt. That's it. They are amazing. So they keep working for 5 to 6 hours normally. They can locally record if you remember to turn it on. They can actually make the recording in such a way that they can isolate the peaks, so you don't have a problem with if somebody starts to shout or there is a loud noise. And also they're small.
Yeah,
You can just you can just put them in your backpack and that's it.
yeah. And even with really good recording quality, if you can set them so that they start auto recording, which is what I learned last
Yes.
week. Thank you for that lesson. When you choose optimal quality, they record something like 18 hours. I'm not talking about the battery. I'm talking about the storage space specifically in them, which is like a lot. Let's just leave it at that.
Yes, but if you're doing anything that involves people, usually 2 or 3 hours is top what you're going to do, because you rarely talk for more than 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Even when we are recording, we had to stop every 3 hours, so it makes sense to use it. Now, let's just quickly go through the last thing that I bought that was actually made for recording, and that was connected to recording. I also have one that you bought me, but let's just start with this one. This is a small aluminum stand for the iPhone or the phone itself. I'm just going to use my old phone, and I can just do the usual thing that you usually do. So I need to open it. I put the phone in, and hopefully it is going to hold. So the phone is here. I have a lock here. This lock makes the jaws permanently closed so that they cannot auto open. And there is a lock here that enables me to actually lock the stand in any particular position. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this thing, like I haven't seen a zillion of those, is because this is actually made out of normal, regular, full metal aluminum body, and it has a hot shoe, it has a bunch of screws here, it has a bunch of screws here. So this is an amazing piece if you want to hold your phone. It is sturdy, but the thing is that when I said that when I'm buying something from China, it usually is not expensive. This is something like $24.
Okay.
So this is an actual piece of gear that actually has weight, but has a value. So it's not always that I just buy cheap things. I usually do. But it's not always that I just buy cheap things. Sometimes I just refuse to buy things that are more expensive for the name. This is called Dini Focus, Pini Focus, whatever. But it's made well. You can actually, for example, if you open it and lock it, you can actually choose the speed in which it closes. So you can actually regulate the force for the mechanism. So it's a small thing. You can put it inside your backpack. If you combine it with the hot shoe adapter, you just put the hot shoe adapter inside this, so it doesn't take too much space. So it's going to take this much space. You grab a small tripod, and you are completely good to go. You can connect your camera, your phone, your roads, your lights in one small package, and that's it. So if I'm traveling, I need this, I need this, I need my iPhone, and I need road adapters. Road adapters there are 3 of these. So this, my iPhone. So where is it now? Okay, there it is. So my iPhone, and that's it. This is the package. And this is all I need to record a decent podcast from my hotel room or wherever I am.
As long as
And
you
this
have
is
a decent internet connection.
Yes, the internet connection was a little bit challenging. It took us, 8 hours to upload the video from the hotel room. But
And even then, it didn't finish properly.
yes, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It was something like 4, 5, 6 megabits, and that was it. So this is one of those things. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was this. I got one from you, then I bought you one because I wanted for you to have it.
Oh, yes.
So the suction cup
suction,
adapter
yeah.
to suction cup adapter that is able to connect to any piece of glass or basically any piece of surface that is polished.
Polished, yeah, non-matted.
Yes, yes. So basically, non-porous surfaces. You can use it. It has a huge number of connection holes. You can screw anything in it. It can hold up to something like 5 or 6 kilos of equipment, and it's an amazing piece of gear. Especially if you want to mount your phone or you want to mount something in your car. So it's one of those things. I also have somewhere I have a splitter for mounting a couple of devices on the same tripod. So this is the things that I bought in the last couple of weeks, let's say a couple of months, or got together a couple of months. So now, do you want to go on your rant about accessible equipment, or or do I continue?
No, I'm going to give it a little bit of a try. Because while you were shopping in the past couple of months, I bought almost nothing. Second to nothing.
Yes, I know, but you had a good excuse.
Which was what?
You're a PhD student
No, that was not the reason.
doing the thesis.
No, I didn't buy anything because I just don't need anything. The only notable exception that I'm considering right now, which is something that we're going to discuss off camera in the future as well, I really like what Blackmagic has done with the G2 version of the ATEM Extreme.
Yes, the ATEM Extreme is the thing that we should be dedicating an episode on.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they more or less completely redesigned the way that production is being done on a small scale. What? Why clapping? Hello? You can hear me, everything is working, but my camera is not. Can you hear me? Čuješ me? Čuješ me? Ok. Pam 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 pam. Pam 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 pam. Pam 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 pam. Di si. Ok, jel me sad čuješ?
Čujem.
Ok, ajmo sad aktivirati kameru da radi, nabijem ih ozbot u nabijem. Moramo zamijeniti kablove, ok, jel me sad vidiš? Čekaj, ne vidiš me još, sad ćeš me vidjeti.
Pa te opet,
Evo me.
sad te vidim.
Ne, čuo si mi normalno, snimka ti išla i dalje, to ide sa Rode, ali zvuk i slika su išli sa ozbot na mitu. Tako da to je prekinulo se.
Ma da, ja sam samo nastavio snimat, nisam
Ok,
ništa
vidio sam.
prekidao, da. Ja sam isto
Ok.
napljeskao, da. Ajmo zajedno,
Ok,
ajmo, 1, 2, 3, oh.
Ajmo ruke.
Anyway,
Anyway, we had a small discussion off camera because the camera was off. The thing is that I wanted to go and now let you rant about the expensive equipment and the expensive things because you didn't buy anything other than.
I didn't buy anything other than anything.
Yes, so you didn't buy anything for the last 2 months.
Nope, I didn't buy anything in more than 6 months.
Okay, You could be, we could be talking about how you bought a kitchen, but this is another
No,
thing.
no, that's not what we're discussing. We're talking about gadgets, equipment, stuff like that. That's not the topic of our discussion. Anyway, we were talking about the new item. Maybe we could do an episode. I mean, there's a gazillion of them, so I'm not really necessarily pushing for that. But I really like the fact that they introduced a couple of really useful additions, like the XLR inputs, Thunderbolt port, free HDMI outputs, CF port finally, so you can record to it directly and whatnot. We're gonna definitely pay attention in terms of when it comes out. I'm not going to pre-order one right now, but I'm considering selling some of the items that I have and replacing them with that one, although it's much more expensive.
Yes, but I'm going to stick with the ones I have for the reasons because I honestly I don't need the 4K video. I'm
It
completely
doesn't
fine
have
with the
4K,
audio.
it's just full HD.
So, but I don't need anything else other than Full HD. I don't need the XLR ports, and I don't need the third HDMI connector. I
I know.
don't need a lot of the things that it has, since I'm barely able to keep up with the 4 channels that I have here. So I'm keeping them occupied, but not by much.
Yeah.
Now,
Wait a second. I have a couple of other things
yes,
that you don't know. So recently, I was working on a project that involved um, education for our teachers in our country related to podcasting and live streaming. And basically, right now at the end, wrote some workbooks, notebooks, wrote small books about that because it needs to be in line with the audience that you're trying to write it for. It's not us. And yesterday I had a very, very interesting rant discussion and a fight with one of the guys involved in the project. I want to share this with you so that you can give your own opinion. So, the equipment that you and I use when we are in the studio, okay, we use
yes,
ZV-E10L camera with a
yes.
special lens because it has to be because the room is very shallow.
Okay, my lens is the kit lens, but yes,
You have more room. That's
yes. But
the kit
the
lens
thing
are
is that it's.
more than enough.
But
Otherwise,
I would say that this is extremely good camera for the
yes,
price
yes,
it costs.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have an Atom Extreme, the 8 channel one, but it's just something that I bought. We have a couple of microphones. We usually use wirelesses. We have a couple of headphones. Nothing major. And we have a Mackie DLZ mixer on the desk, which we use for
Yes.
audio part of the recording. And in that said book and the PowerPoint presentation and the workbook and whatnot, I was supposed to kind of like recommend a setup for them. And I recommended the setup that we use. So
Okay.
those small item, the Sony camera. I recommended that also we have a set of those Shure SM7Bs, which we currently don't use, but they are amazing. And
Yes.
I recommended to use a Mackie DLZ as well, the mixer. They actually came out with a smaller version of it, so they have less channels and it's less expensive. And one of the things that I got into a fight about with one of the guys involved in the project is related to a stupid comment that he made while reviewing
Yes.
my work. And the stupid comment was that as long as I'm mentioning that you should use digital equipment for podcasting, specifically he was aiming at the digital mixer, that I should also mention analog mixers in the material for live streaming and podcasting as something that people do. I'm going to stop myself now and I'm going to ask you for your comments before I start my comments. What do you have to say about that?
A couple of things.
Okay?
First, you probably know that I have a Eurorec mixer, 24 channels that I got for 120 euros.
Yes.
So this is the state of the analog equipment that can be bought today. So you can buy analog equipment for practically nothing or even actual nothing, because what I got for that was a pretty stable power supply. So if everything else fails, I have a power supply left. The thing is that I understand where he's coming from, because if you are an extremely cheap,
Remove the
and by mean,
hand. Remove the hand. You
yes,
are influencing the sound.
if you are an extremely cheap person, and if you are, I'm not going to say on an cheap, on a small budget. If you have no budget, the only thing that is left for you is to try to use the analog mixers that are basically a few euros on the Chinese sites, or that you can buy through I don't know, Craigslist or whatever is the equivalent of the advertisements in your area. But the thing is that even if I accept this thing, if you want to connect any sort of audio source to this thing, so even if you buy the cheapest cheap mixer, so you have analog audio, you need a microphone. And this is where you are going to end up either completely missing the point, because the microphone is going to be 50 times more expensive than the equipment that you're using, or you're going to be using such a crappy microphone that nobody's going to hear you. So it doesn't make any sense to use the audio mixers and audio things. As for analog video equipment,
No. We are not done with analog audio. There is a question that you probably didn't notice. There's a problem that you need to solve there. How in the hell are you going to inject the analog audio into live streaming?
I have seen this done, and you wouldn't like the answer. The answer is you buy a €2.5 audio card that is connected to USB, and then you convert the entirety of the crappy configuration to the USB.
Yes, or you buy an analog mixer that already has it, USB.
Yes, but the thing is that as you probably know, and we are joking about this a lot, I like using equipment that is white label or no label or Chinese or whatever, if it's working and if it's cheap. Because I don't see the point of using something that is not going to be broadcast quality when I'm spending too much money on something that I'm not going to use for broadcasts. I think that the ATEM configuration with the Sony is the bare minimum that you need to use when you are doing something.
Exactly my point.
So, and probably you know that we have grown through the podcasts into the last 3 years, but I never introduced any piece of equipment into this chain that was cheap, because there is no reason to do it. If the cheapest thing that I use when I need to do the remote learning and the remote sessions is this is Audio Technica 2020, which is decent. It's not a good mic, it's not amazing, but it works. And this is the cheapest thing that I have when it comes to this. And this is the only thing that I said, okay, I'm not going to go and buy the most expensive mic because I don't need it, but I'm going to buy a decent one so everybody can hear me. My other mic that I use is the Rode, the NT-USB, so the USB version. And the reason why I'm currently not using it is because I need to find a shoe for it, because the shoe itself is specific. And I think I found a solution, and the solution is right now printing. So I think this is going to be the end of it. But the thing is that I have a limit on where I'm going to spend more and when I'm going to spend less. Podcasting, content creation, lecturing requires you to be heard good, well.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you simply cannot save money on buying equipment that is going to be less than good.
Yep. Exactly what I wrote.
So okay, now continue.
Okay, so I wrote that in a little bit more technical sense, which you just said. In the workbook, I also explained that there is a way to do this podcasting / live streaming thing by using a sound card, which we did more than a few times. Very expensive sound cards in our case. But that's already explained in the workbook. So if you buy an analog mixer, you are either going to connect that to a sound card, because that's the only way to do it, or the analog mixer is going to have a USB port, therefore converting it into a digital signal, which is the whole point of the digital mixer that I kind of suggested, and then you're going to get crappy quality times 2 and the latency. But on top of everything, when you are trying to following up on what you just said, when you're doing remote education, stuff like that, because it's for teachers, it's for educating young people. As you said, you need to be heard. The primary component of that is to have, of course, decent sound, which means at least a decent microphone. There is no way around that. And using small digital mixer, which doesn't cost all that much money. It's not like I recommended something that's 30,000 euros. It's something like 500 euros or something like that, maybe. But it also has, compressors, limiters, equalizers, and all of those beautiful things, which actually do make a hell of a lot of sense when podcasting. At least a little bit of them. They're S-ing as well. Most of even the roadcasters and stuff like that already have all of those components built in. If you were to do that with an analog setup, that would cost an arm and leg. So basically, I ended up being semi-accused that I'm forcing some kind of an equipment in that specific competition. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just offering you the benefit of experience because you and I went through a lot of equipment before reaching the satisfactory level.
Yes, but I since we know for the end users that are going to be using this material to create it, the thing is that things like just going to go with a random mixer that I know of, so I'm going to just mention it. Things like Yamaha MG16XU.
Kicksess.
Yes, it's a 500 euro mixer that is capable of doing 16-channel mixing.
Yes.
And it has a USB output.
Yes.
So this is probably the thing that he was thinking about.
Yeah, but that's not an analog mixer, yet again.
Yes, but the thing is that he thinks it is.
Yeah.
Because the person who is going to tell you that you need an analog mixer is the person who is going to think that this is an analog mixer.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's even thinking about these things is because he's expecting that this is going to be the most common usage case scenario, because if you are into old educational systems, the microphones are something that got bought by somebody, and as you probably know, the microphones don't get old. If you have a microphone, it's going to get used for a zillion years if it's an analog mic with the cable. If it's an analog mic with analog receiver and the sender, it is going to be broken, basically. So he's expecting that everybody is going to use at least this either 16 or 8-bit channel mixer, because he thinks that this is an analog mixer, so we should be talking about this. And this is the conference setup that they're talking about. Okay, your problem is that you know that this setup is going to be 500 euros less expensive than the setup you proposed, but probably 2 orders of magnitude worse.
Yes.
But the thing is that he doesn't know that. So I'm going to defend him on this.
I knew it.
Because I need to be defensive when it comes to people who don't know that they don't know.
You are not that person, definitely.
No, I'm not that person, but I think that he is.
I can understand why you think that. Okay.
So right now, just going to go and put opposite opinion of you.
Because it's fun.
Yes, don't be an elitist. Just embrace the audio, embrace the analog audio. And
crappy audio, and that's that.
Yes. We can bring back tape recorders, and that's it.
I have nothing against tape recorders. I have nothing against analog audio, as I'm sure you know.
Yes, but I think that the problem is that when we are dealing with crappy hardware, when people are used to crappy hardware, it's easy to forget that everybody else doesn't have it. Because right now I'm just taking a look at the cheapest possible solutions that you can buy for the analog. So Behringer Xenix You remember those?
I deliberately put that one as a picture because we have it in the company for shits and giggles. I deliberately put that as a picture of a device that can be used in that way.
You know what is the price of the new Behringer Zenix 1202?
Something like 70 euros.
No. It's much more than it. 120. But Zenix QX 1222 USB. So the thing that actually makes sense, as I said, from the perspective of somebody like this. So a mixing console hear me, a mixing thing that is capable of actually outputting a USB is 220 euros. So this is cheap equipment, but in order to get it to run, you need luck. You need completely dust-free
Environment.
the dust-free environment. You need to not move the sliders at all because they're going to start scratching as soon as you start to move them, and you are going to have an awful time trying to get this thing to work. But okay, it can be done.
Yeah.
Now let's go back and let's do a quick and sharp turn for the worse.
Okay.
So the next thing that I bought that I completely and utterly didn't need was the light.
Oh Lord, no.
This is supposed to be a fill light, and what I wanted to say, what I wanted to see is how good it is. So this is a fill light. It looks like this. So it's let's point it to me so that you can actually see the interface here. So here, it is capable of actually changing colors. So I can use the green, I can use the red, I can use the blue, I can use the cyan, whatever, yellowish,
Purple-ish.
purple ink, purple whatever, cold white and warm white. So and everything white turned on. This is a decent light.
Okay.
This is not a bad light, but the thing is that okay, it can be connected. It has a screw here. It has a screw here. You can connect it. It has magnets on both sides, but as with everything else that I bought from the AliExpress and all the rest of the China sites, this wasn't cheap.
Okay.
This is something like 40 euros.
That's, yeah.
Compared to what you need to pay for the brand name lights, I know this is cheap. But for if you compare this to this guy here, which basically does not exist, it is as light as a feather, and it's going to fall apart if you just leave it on your desk. This actually makes sense. I wanted to buy this as a fill light, but what I'm missing is any sort of control. The controls are abysmal. It says plus minus on, and there is a control called S. And what does S do? S changes the. Oh, you can set it to blink.
Thank you. Please shut that down.
Yes, and of course you have these programs that bring red and blue, so that they are trying to
Hypnotize you.
I don't know, mimic the police or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is a thing that actually I was buying because I wanted to do something with it, and then I realized that I can do stuff with it, but it's just not what I needed.
Okay.
It's a good thing to have if you need it, but it's not what I wanted to have and what I needed to use.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go completely insane. These were the regular normal things that you would buy because you are just buying things.
Okay.
Okay. Now, where should I start? Maybe I should just remain when we are. You already saw this, but I didn't talk too much about it on the podcast. So I got the keyboard.
Yes.
The keyboard is amazing.
Yes.
It works.
If only you learned how to use it properly.
There are a few problems, yes. There is a couple of problems, to be completely honest. But so this is the keyboard. The keyboard actually works. It makes sense. It makes the phone extremely huge, so bigger than the hand. It makes the phone barely usable because you cannot reach, in any stretch of imagination, you cannot reach the top of the phone. So I have mixed feelings. It's an amazing piece of equipment. It does what it needs to do. It's usable. I'm not happy with the way that Apple ecosystem treats it. So basically, the focus gets switched from the keyboard to something else all the time, because this is the way it is done when you have a regular keyboard. So it is a nice thing to have. Do I think it was the good investment? No. Was it one of those things that I did because I could? Yes. Would I do it again? Probably no.
First world problems.
Yes. So it's one of those things.
Okay.
Now, for the next thing that I bought, which is completely, and you don't know about this thing because I haven't shown this to you, not even to you. I had a problem with my carpal tunnel in my hand. So I decided that I need to have a way of exercising my hand, so I bought this.
Yeah, I have that for years.
Yes, me too, but I lost mine, and then I bought a new one. It's not cheap. It's a Powerball. Yes, it's not cheap, and I must say that I liked the previous design more.
Okay.
The previous design was much bigger, and the rotating part wasn't exposed.
Okay.
So I like this thing. This thing actually makes sense, and it helped me.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I still use mine.
Yes, I don't think that it's a wise thing to do when you have a problem with the carpal tunnel.
Yes.
But on the other hand, it actually fixed my problems. Okay, it made them different. So I'm just going to go with, I'm not that inclined to have a problem with the okay. I solved some of the problems. I created another set of problems, but those problems are not as bad as the previous problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
The world according to Jasmine.
Yes. So this is the thing that I bought that I was pretty happy about. The next thing that I prepared on my amazing desk of wonders is this one. You know about this one, but I'm going to
Yes.
The fan.
Yes.
So basically, if you don't know what this is the way that some companies in China decided to get rid of the rotors or the motors for the drones that they don't have any use for or that are faulty. So what they did is somebody actually stuck a drone motor inside the case. It created a small fan. They created a nozzle. I would guess that this one was 3D printed, or some parts of it would be 3D printed, because it has ragged edges. There is a battery here, and that's basically it. What you can do a pretty decent amount of air. I'm not going to do it for too long because everybody who has headphones is going to be completely screaming out their heads. But
you can point it at yourself.
Yes, I can try to do this. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yes, but the thing is that I must say that I like this gadget a lot.
Of course.
The reason why I like it is because if I have to get the dust out of any machine
or keyboard
or a keyboard, but specifically machines, I don't have to have my compressor with me anymore. I have a small compressor in my work area or in my workroom, and it is much noisier than this. It takes time to get up to pressure. It takes time to actually fill up with air. It needs power and so on. You can just charge this thing and just get rid of the dust in 10 seconds and so on, and then just put it away. So I think that this is one of those things where I am completely not sorry that I bought something that was extremely cheap.
Okay.
It's something like 20 euros. The thing is that right now everybody realized that this is a good thing. So you can buy these things that have speed control, the power control. They have displays that display the amount of battery left and so on and so on. But this is the cheapest one, and it behaves amazingly. So this is a good thing to have. Okay, so now let's do the rest of insanity. I have only
Pick a
one thing
couple. We'll pick one or two more because we are done.
No. I have it, only one.
Okay.
I believe I mean the best for the best for the last. So I got this. Let me just try to
Okay.
focus it.
Okay.
So this is a thing that looks like a TV. If you push on it, it changes. You can change what's on it, and then what you can basically do, you can do the clock.
Okay.
You can make it go and show you the stocks, which I don't care about. You can use something like that's called IDEA, that basically changes the graphics. And you can connect it to there is a plugin to connect it to AIDA 64, and you can put your information about your PC
hardware info.
Hardware info on it, and you can connect it to Home Assistant. I actually quite like this thing.
I actually do as well.
Because it's small.
It's fun.
It's unassuming. It's connected to wireless if you don't do anything else. So you can once you configure it, you can just leave it somewhere. It's cheap and it's light. And you can power it probably from as you said 4 hours from the USB power adapter. So this is one of those things that I decided to buy, and I'm now pretty happy. I keep it under my desk, and I can take a look at what time it is, what is the weather going to be like, and what is the current temperature outside. So basically everything that I need from a gadget that doesn't make any sense but still makes sense.
As long as you are happy, I'm even happier.
So, what do you think about my small bunch of wonders?
Bunch of wondrous dooms. Yeah, I think you've outdone yourself this time.
Why?
I don't know, you're progressing. That's scary.
You haven't seen anything yet, but yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we can.
I have quite a few things that I'm working on, and then we'll just leave it at that. Right now, I'm heavily into wasting my precious 5 minutes of spare time each day on ham radio once again.
Yes.
Because what I did is I got the HackRF card, and I connected it to the PC, and I must say that it's an amazing thing that was actually missing. And I'm not talking about the GPS, the GSM, the whatever you can do with it. I'm just talking about having a decent full range spectrum analyzer that is capable of actually telling me when somebody is talking and which channel is an amazing thing.
Cool.
And it used to cost an arm and a leg, and now it's something like 90 euros or something. So it's just a pretty cheap thing that you can plug in and then just watch the airwaves around you dance on the screen.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so with that thing being said,
yes,
this has been the Yasmin's small box of wonders. Until next time, while
there will be a next time, I'm sure.
No. What I expect is the next time I have a topic for you, and I'm going to go with it live now.
Okay.
I want to do the introduction to your guitars.
Oh, holy shit.
No, but I want the introduction to the cheapest guitars.
What makes you think I have cheap guitars?
No, the cheapest. You have to have cheap guitars. There is no way statistically that all the guitars are the same price. So some of them must be cheaper than the others. And I want to just to get the viewers to see what is the range of
insanity that we cover.
No, range of the insanity that you cover when it comes to musical instruments.
That might be a difficult thing to pull off. You know what? We are finishing our third album, you know that.
Yes.
I only used one synth and two guitars. I really didn't overdo it. But the range of sounds that I got out of that was pretty amazing. So I'm very happy with that. But more about that in a not so distant future.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your insanity with me. I'm just going to use my mystery piece of mystery
Oh
piece of
yes, the
hardware.
cable.
Yes, I need to mention this thing. You know
You
what this
did.
is? No, no, I did I show you on the podcast?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
so the mystery cable is back. So it's on my desk because I connected the rest of them on my Windows. And the reason why this one is here, not used, is because when I opened it, I realized that the connector is completely wonky, so I cannot connect it.
It
But
happens.
anyways,
Yeah.
it is what it is when you buy stuff from purveyors of good connectors. So
Everywhere.
yes, I'm just going to go with it is what it is for whom it is. So um, having that in mind, thank you for being with us.
Yeah. And we'll see each other in the next episode.
Yes,
See ya. Bye.
bye.